Back now on Race for the White House, going one-on-one tonight with Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York City, of course, and a supporter of John McCain, Senator McCain, former presidential candidate himself. Mayor Giuliani, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for being here. Let me ask you about this race. This is still a single-digit race. Barack Obama has maintained a lead. And yet he still remains, his poll numbers still remain in the 40s. So a couple questions. Why do you think that Obama is not doing better? And why don't you think he can hit the 50% mark?
Well, I think he's not doing better because I think there's a major question about him that the American people are going to have to answer, and that is his experience. I mean, he just doesn't have the kind of experience we usually expect in a presidential candidate, probably the least experience in the last 100 years. And when you look at the serious questions that face us, whether it's energy or the economy or the war on terror, I think John McCain's experience ends up being something that will win the race for him. The idea that we're going to forget Republican, Democrat, all the liberal, conservative stuff. We need a person there who has been tested before and we know can handle these things and who gives real answers to things. I think Senator Obama is now getting stuck with the idea that he doesn't really answer things. He doesn't really have policies. He just has like general thoughts. John is quite specific about what he'll do, and we know it from his record.
Well, what's an example of Obama not answering?
Energy. Energy is, John McCain is real clear. He will support all of the above, which is what my policy was. There are these alternatives that have to be supported. They include drilling. They include nuclear power. They include solar and wind. Obama has virtually ruled out nuclear power. He's ruled out drilling. There's not much left, except the usual old-fashioned special interest answer.
When Senator McCain talks about the energy crisis in this country, this has been a crisis that Republicans have failed effectively to find an answer to in all the time that George Bush has been president.
Well, this isn't about Republicans and Democrats. It's about who is the person that's going to be president of the United States. John McCain has been in favor, for example, of cap and trade, I think, before Barack Obama was even in the state legislature. So John has a long history here of supporting the things that he's talking about now. Senator Obama's record in the state legislature at the time was voting present more often than just about anybody else. It's the difference between a man who has taken positions, I think usually correct, but sometimes even wrong, but willing to take positions, and a person who doesn't seem to be able to do it. And given the lack of experience that Senator Obama has, when you add to it the fact that he doesn't take positions, I think the American people are concerned.
Let me ask you a question that was actually brought up during the primary. Former President Clinton said a vote for Obama would be a roll of the dice. And I remember asking Senator Clinton and not really getting an answer to this question. What is the specific harm? What is the particular risk of Obama as president? What would you say it is?
I would say the risk is that this country will be a country that's at drift. And then I think the areas where he has been specific will be very damaging. A big increase in taxes right now, even if you want to label it a tax on the rich, is a tax on the economy. We have countries in this world that are lowering taxes. America has the second highest corporate tax rate. I think if Senator Obama were to be elected, it would be a major impact on our economy and a really damaging one.
You think the country would be adrift, though? That's the risk of Obama.
I think the instincts that he's shown are and I think Hillary Clinton probably explained this best during the debates. The instincts that he shows are not the instincts of a leader, of a person who takes charge, a person who makes decisions. That mistake that he made about saying he would negotiate with even dictators and tyrants without preconditions. An experienced person and a person with the instincts for negotiation never would have said that.
Let's talk about taxes, and let's talk about the fact that Senator McCain is offering himself to the country in his ads, for instance, a recent ad, as the original maverick. He's the guy who stands up to power, that he would stand up to George Bush. But you raised the issue of tax cuts just a minute ago. As recently as 2004, John McCain had a very different position. And this is what he said on Meet the Press. Let's watch.
I voted against the tax cuts because of the disproportional amount that went to the wealthiest Americans. I would clearly support not extending those tax cuts in order to help address the deficit.
But here's the point. Critics would say the maverick who was John McCain back in 2000, maybe even 2004, that's not the John McCain of today. He's switched his position on tax increases.
John is still
and tax cuts.
Still in a different place on cap and trade than the Republican Party. He was in a different place on Iraq. I mean, he was criticizing the administration's policy in Iraq 2, 3, and 4 years ago. Turns out he was absolutely right with the surge policy that the president adopted. I think on this tax issue, John realizes that this is not the time to be raising taxes when the economy is in the situation that it's in. And then competitively, it's not the time to do it. When just about all of Europe has lower corporate tax rates than we do, and we're competing for business, I think Senator McCain displays his inexperience when he talks about raising taxes.
But John McCain, as recently as 2004, opposed the Bush tax cut. He changed that position. Talked about servicing the deficit. The deficit has ballooned since then. He is now in sync with George Bush on the issue of tax cuts, and he's using that as a hammer against Obama when he's where Obama was effectively 4 years ago.
I think, given the realities of our economy, John McCain is correct in saying that we shouldn't be raising taxes right now. But when you look at John McCain's overall record, including his whole position on energy, climate change, John McCain has always taken the position that he thought was right, even when it put them at odds with the administration.
Whether it's the war, whether it's taxes, is he too close to George Bush to earn the maverick label today as he did in 2000?
Yeah, if you ask Republicans, that was one of the major concerns with John, that he was too independent. I don't think he can use it against him. I mean, the fact is, John has been an independent person making his own decisions about things. Where he agrees with President Bush, he's there 100%. But where he disagrees, as he did on the war, he was a major critic until they actually changed positions, and we went with the surge.
Well, let's talk about that. Obviously, Senator McCain did express concerns about the implementation of the war. He backed the war. Is it a mistake politically for him to spend so much time debating the wisdom or the success of the surge when so many Americans are still asking questions about why we went to war in Iraq in the first place? That's the decision that remains unpopular.
I think what it displays about John McCain, whether you agree with him or not on the war or on the surge, and I do, I mean, we're pretty much in the same position on that, I think it displays the fact that he can take a position. I think Senator Obama has much more trouble doing that. And, of course, he has no background. He has no leadership background. So the issue right now is the economy and its energy. But I think you see that same difference. John McCain is willing to say, these are my positions on energy. I'm in favor of opening up offshore drilling. I'm in favor of 45 nuclear power plants. I'm in favor of supporting solar and wind. And instead, with Senator Obama, you get no, maybe, possibly, we'll see. I mean, there's a big difference, and I think America is looking for leadership.
Let me ask you about VP candidates. Romney has been mentioned, Governor Romney, as somebody who should be on top of that short list for some of his positions, particularly on the economy, his expertise on the economy. You saw that up close. You saw these two go at each other. Is that a good choice for McCain?
I think John has to make his own choice, and I think John will make his own choice, and I don't think any of us should be discussing. There are a lot of Republicans that would be very good. Governor Romney would be very good. There are other Republicans that would be terrific choices. There are others that would be terrific choices. John's got to pick the one that he thinks, first of all, can be president, if, God forbid, something happens, and you always have to think about that. And second, who can help you politically? It has to be in that order.
We know that in some of the advertisements, Senator McCain has been relying on images of Britney Spears and Paris Hilton. And Paris Hilton, maybe you've seen, has come out with a response of her own. And I actually think we have a portion of that to let you listen to. Let's see if we can listen to it.
He's the oldest celebrity in the world, like super old. Old enough to remember when dancing was a sin and beer was served in a bucket. But is he ready to lead?
Hey America, I'm Paris Hilton and I'm a celebrity too. Only I'm not from the olden days and I'm not promising change like that other guy. I'm just hot. But then that wrinkly white-haired guy used me in his campaign ad, which I guess means I'm running for president. So thanks for the endorsement, white-haired dude. And I want America to know that I'm like totally ready to lead.
Was it a smart idea for McCain to pick a fight with Paris Hilton?
I think that she was very diplomatic about kind of like, if anything, I think she's supporting John McCain.
Paris Hilton's for McCain.
She didn't indicate we have to open up drilling, so we'll, I think you have to have some fun. This campaign has been, as we discussed earlier, too long. And I think John doing that was fun, and I think her commercial's a lot of fun.
All right, Mayor Giuliani, thank you very much. Good luck to your Yankees here in the second half.